Hi, I'm Diane, I'm 21, I come from Luxembourg and I'm bisexual. The first time I really knew I was attracted to girls as much as boys was when I was with a friend who was, I think, 2 years older than me. I was 11, she was 13. And we were like a group of friends, and I don't know how, but we started to find it funny to kiss each other, which we then did. And for me, like, I started to like feel those butterflies you feel when, well, you kiss somebody and you're attracted to them. And the other people were more like, no, it's just funny. And so yeah, that kind of was my first experience experiencing feelings for a girl. And after that, when I started to talk with my friends about it, and they were all only speaking about boys, so I went with it because I was familiar with it. So we didn't talk about girls, which was fine, which I just like let slip my mind. And then after that, I kind of didn't thought about it for a long time. And then at 17, I was in a relationship with a boy, and it was actually the first time where I told him, I think I also like girls, and he was like, oh, okay, fine, well, that's okay. So after that relationship, I was still very confused about who I was attracted to and who I wasn't. So what I did is actually I talked about it with my best friend, and at the end she just said, well, you don't really have to know who you're attracted to, you just figure it out with time. And that was actually great advice from her, because it's true, you don't really need to know. And actually the first time I really like had that moment, oh, I am bisexual, was when I talked with a friend and he was just casually asking me, well, you're attracted to boys? And I would say, yes, but you're attracted to girls too? And I, yes. And so you're, well, then you're bisexual. It's not that complicated, it's just like it is. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right. Since it took me quite some time to figure out what my sexuality was, I didn't have that big coming out talk with everybody. So what I tend to do is just letting people know by dropping some comments, like you would say when you're straight, oh, he's really handsome. I would also say the same thing about when I see a pretty girl, that she's pretty. Something else that I do is also when people ask me, oh, do you have a boyfriend? And I was like, no, but I don't have a girlfriend either. So that kind of like makes people wonder or even ask, like, oh, so you were like both. I think also it's a pretty good way to do it, because when people are ready to hear you say that you like boys, they will ask you. And if they don't, usually they just don't ask and they just let the comment fade away. But what I realize is that I think it's pretty great also to like come out to people around you, so they are aware that like everybody can be or cannot be straight. And I think it's easier to hear it from a person who's close to you, or to understand it. And so yeah, that's what kind of what I want to do, and why I want to talk more about my sexuality in general. Back in Luxembourg, being gay isn't, or not straight, isn't seen as something bad, but it's not really talked about much. So the only bad comments I got about it is that you often say, in the French language at least, you say, oh, that's gay, and that would mean it's weak. But people just say without noticing it. So for example, saying on n'est pas des PD in French would mean we aren't gays, which would then say, oh, we aren't weak. So that was kind of the only bad comment I would get. And at first I would just like look over it and be like, okay, that's just a way we say it, but don't mean it. But what I do now is just I tell people about it, and I say, do you like notice what you're saying? And often they like, oh no, I didn't notice, it's just like the way I say it.